It's the Murder Master Music Show. It's the Murder Master Music Show. Hip-hop is dead, but we don't resurrect it. You follow what mainstream says, but here it gets rejected. If you wearing tight jeans, don't expect to get respected. I'm from a time where wearing black was always on your checklist. From a time where faggots get checked if they reckless. From a time where if you got too much shine, we snatch your necklace. This real shit here, Illuminati, fuck the industry. We represent the street and they respect our street ministries. Take no shorts and cut the middleman, literally. This hip-hop savior, our birth scenes like nativity. This a place where no one sells out for reliability, and the masses can get a chance to explore more creativity. You gotta be kidding me. If you call that hip-hop, niggas with high shades and fluorescent flip-flop. We killing Big Brother, cause we know he watch. You don't like what I'm doing, then you can suck mine. And you don't Murder Master Music Show. It's the 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 Murder Master Music Show.
Hey, here we are, episode 325, Murder Master Music Show, and this one's all about the underground. Well, everyone's about the underground. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we're new to this. We're almost 5 years into this. We're as underground as you can get. Our audio quality is
325
shit. Our audio quality is pure shit. You know why? Because we don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I went when I started with Murder Dog. I went to that motherfucker right after it was a newspaper. You know what I'm saying? We're all about the underground here, man. And this is what it is. We got nothing but good, dope fucking shit coming through these goddamn fucking speakers every week. You know what I'm saying? Tonight we got a great show. We got, you know what I'm saying, the homie DJ Skywalker. You know what I'm saying? We got Detroit Unplugged Radio, which is another radio outlet which is doing great things for the underground. We're going to bring them on during the second half of the show. And we got the homie Chris Bondi who did this underground cipher. It's called Underground Takeover. It has a bunch of people on there, including the Artist of the Month over at UGSforlife.com, the Super Smash Bros. No, I'm not talking about no Super Mario or no Nintendo shit. I'm talking about some dudes spitting some rhymes. You know what I'm saying? Let's bring on our first guest tonight, DJ Skywalker. You know what I'm saying? I'm also going to bring on the homie Brandon. You know what I'm saying? How you doing, DJ Skywalker? What's going on with you, homie?
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all doing good?
Man,
I appreciate everything, man. I'm coming at you live and direct. Got to send much love to my homie Prez and Mac J. Mac J over there?
Oh, yeah.
Man, that sounds good, man. I appreciate the love and support, man. We're just trying to build on supporting the underground, and you know that mainstream's whack, and we just got to support the underground. I believe that we have a team, an elite team, that we're definitely gonna bust the bubble.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's all the underground. It's something you're not new to. You've been on the scene for a long time. You know what I'm saying, since the 90s. You know, tell everybody what you've actually been doing. How did you get in the rap music industry?
Oh, man. Right now I'm standing outside, straight up, Houston, Texas, on the south side of Houston, Texas, man. So you already know what the south side of Houston, Texas has done, not just for the rap world, but, you know, for the world. You know, I've seen it all. You know, I've been here the whole time. You know, I've been here through the Screw era. You know, the SPC's been holding it down. The Ghetto Boys. You know, Nip, Big Mike. Remember Big Mike back in the day? You know, we've seen all that stuff. UGK. You know, UGK hit real hard down here. But man, I started getting into it probably late '80s. You know, back when LL Cool J and Run DMC and Young MC and Kool Moe Dee and but probably my first big take, man, when I really was like, damn, was when my homeboy, this was 5th grade. Threw in Eazy-E, Easy Does It. Played that tape, it was over.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I was just a little guy, man. I was just, 8, 9 years old. And when I heard that, I said, man, I definitely got to do something. You know, I wasn't even, you know what I'm saying? I could barely read and write back in those days. But I knew I wanted to be in the rap game. You know?
Yeah. You were inspired to do it yourself.
Mm-hmm. When I seen Easy, you know, Pac came later. You know, Tupac came later. But when I first heard Easy and NWA, man, it just completely split my mind, man. And I was trying to get my mom to buy me these old school tapes. You know, when we would go to Kmart and Target, you know, to go grocery shopping, I'm trying to tell my mom, hey, you know, I want this new Eazy-E tape. But she wasn't trying to hear it. You know, she was you know, I grew up on Led Zeppelin and Foghat and you know, all those classic rock bands. So she wasn't trying to hear that stuff. So, but eventually I got my hands on some old Ice Cube and Eazy-E, and I'd take it to my friend's house, and you know, we would be rapping just like they were. You know, we would be rapping and stuff like that. So it all came back. That's 20-something years ago. 30 years. That was 30 years ago.
That's crazy because here we are, 2016, and we're talking about, you know, the elements and the foundation of hip hop.
Yeah.
And look at how sad and pathetic the rap game is. Not the underground.
Oh man.
Some of these fuckers in the underground, because there's a lot of these fugazi rappers who aspire to be like the mainstream or the lamestream.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the game, I look at it from, you know, from a fan's perspective, and I'm thinking, man, all the shit that these dudes built up, the Eshams, the K-Rinos, the Nips, the Cool G Raps, all these motherfuckers built these pillars in hip-hop, and these new mumble rap motherfuckers are just tearing that shit down, man. From someone who's part of hip-hop himself, how does that make you feel?
Yeah. Well, you know what? On that note, I blame the executive producers. I blame the producers, but also blame the consumers. You know, if we got everybody on the same boat and was like, yo, don't buy those CDs. I'm not even going to say any of their names, you know, but you know what I'm talking about. The mumble rap, you know, if nobody bought it, they couldn't sell it. So yeah. I don't support it. You know, I see these dudes dressing up like girls.
Salute you to that right there.
And, you know, in tight jeans, man, that ain't hip-hop, man. That ain't rap music. So I blame the executives, but you know what? I blame the radio stations too. You know,
yeah, man.
There's a couple of radio stations here in town, and they play the same music all day long, 20 times a day, and they weren't showing no love to K-Rino. K-Rino was the greatest that's ever done it, and they weren't playing his new album. You know what's up with that?
Yeah, it's even, you got to look at it too. The Houston Press did a great story on him. Everybody in the city of Houston knows that this band just released 7 albums. You know what I'm saying? It should be covered by all media outlets, man. It should be covered by all media outlets, but they're not. And what I hope happens is I hope K goes for that Guinness record, because, you know, currently the Guinness record title is 4 albums on one day. So he's obviously got that beat. So I hope he gets it and he puts it right in the face of the fucking mainstream and all the people that he support, because it's disgusting, you know. But what about, you know, you speak of K-Rino, you know, but what about, I know you're into horrorcore just like a lot of us. What about the horrorcore side of things? What's your background like with
that? Status on that, you know, I was jamming. This was back in when I first heard Esham, probably 95. And I had heard Gangsta Nip year, you know, 92, 91, 92. But, you know, Esham, in my eyes, a different type of music than Gangsta Nip's music. So I heard it.
Right.
You know, I heard Esham before I even heard of ICP.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know who ICP was at that time. You know, so I always give Esham credit on that, because, you know, seeing that Closed Casket CD in the stores, that's my
favorite Esham album, I think.
You know,
Spatter
it's like
Fetus. or Flowers. There's a few of them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, a friend of mine came over, and he like, man, you got to jam this. And back in those days, we were jamming Dre Day, and Snoop. Yeah. Back in those days, he's like, man, you got to jam this. And it was that knowledge, do you believe in God? And I was like, okay. Shit. So we're sitting around, rolling something up, and he threw that in. And from that day all the way till now, I said, I was just blown away with the production, with the lyricism, the delivery, the different styles. And from that day forward, man, I've always been supportive of artists.
Yeah, they definitely tread on different territory. Same with Esham. I mean, this dude rapped on the Happy Days beat, for crying out loud. You know what I'm saying? His experimentation is limitless. And guys like that, they're lacking in the game. I mean, it's crazy that they don't get the attention that they deserve when these other dudes get all the attention in the world. But it's nuts. I guess what we got to do is just take it over again from the underground. That's about the only option we have at this point. But one thing I want to touch on, you are right. Esham and Nip, you can't really compare the two because acid raps and horrorcore are kind of two different things in my eyes. I'm saying horrorcore is chop them up, eat them up, get rid of the body parts and eat the fingers and all that good shit. And acid rap is basically a rap hallucinogen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, if you really listen to acid rap like back in the day and you were like a fucking hooligan like myself, chances are you dropped some fucking acid while listening to Esham Renata's tape. And chances are you really got to experience some crazy shit. It's just like sipping lean listening to DJ Screw, But it's two different things is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I always hear that. Who created the wicked shit. And a lot of people say Esham, a lot of people say Nip. I say let them have credit where credit is due, man. They both created the style. They're both great.
Yeah,
let them do their thing.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I thought was important about them doing that record together and then doing that show together. Like, who cares?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, who cares who gets the credit for it? Like, as long as they're both looked at as legends and they're willing to work together, who cares, man? I thought that was just great for the scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To have both of them because, like, I mean, I don't think they're the same kind of rappers. You know what I mean? I think they have different styles. So if I give acid rap to Esham, horrorcore to Nip, and them working together and doing that show together, I just thought, man, that was one of the coolest things I've seen for the underground in general, man. And I hope more things like that can happen in the future.
Oh man.
Yeah, we encourage that shit, man. We want to see that.
Most
happen.
definitely.
I tried.
Most definitely.
When the Esham and Nip show was going on, I actually tried to get Lynch involved too. You know what I'm saying? Have like a trilogy of terror. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to see that happen. I think them three dudes should do a fucking EP together or something. Because there's money. You got to think about the money to be made on something like that. People want to see that shit happen. Like when Spice and MC8 did an album together, people were wanting that to happen. A Cool G Rap and Saigon or something like that. People want to see these collaborations.
And I think that's what's going to help bring it back because like growing up, like these artists meant something to us. Like, you know what I mean? Like if I was talking to somebody like, God bless his soul, but say like if Pac was alive and I got to meet him, I would tell him like, man, do you know what you did to me? You know what I mean? Like, you know what you meant to me? Like, but these guys I see now that, like everybody's seen that top 10 list that just came out. Those people, you're going to tell me those people are going to be here 15 years from now? Like, those people mean something? No, they don't. You know what I mean? Like Yachty and all them people, they don't mean nothing to people. Like, that's just, they're here for the day. Like, so I think that's what's going to bring it back is, Esham and Nip. I think that set a great example, and you see it happening. Like, you see people in the underground that you hope would work together. Like, I think see more collaborations and more shows, and I think that's what's going to bring it back. People are going to be like, wow, like those two work together. You know what I mean? That's happened a lot, you know, even with the Killjoy Club. You know what I mean? Like, that's a good look.
I look forward to it.
Yeah.
I wish you guys would have been there.
Yeah, that would have been dope. That definitely would have been dope.
The energy in that building was unreal, you know, during that show.
I saw like the whole SPC. It looked like the whole SPC showed up in there. I saw some pictures of wow.
It's so funny. It's so funny, Fred, because I'm sitting there jamming Eshawn. Well, you know, Mastermind did his set, and he just, you already know, and he did his thing. Mastermind did his thing. One of my favorite artists of all time, and I told him that too. And I'm sitting there watching the Eshawn set. Gank the Nip has already performed, and of course he just destroyed the stage. And so I'm sitting there in my mind thinking, man, I'm watching an Eshawn show, and I'm standing right next to K Reno. And the energy, man, I'm telling you, was just...
You're watching an Eshawn show standing next to K Reno. That's crazy.
Standing right next to K Reno. And he's telling me, he's like, hey, turn up the volume, like, you know, turn up the mics, because the mics were kind of low. You know, the place wasn't that big, you know, but the sound engineer that was running the sound, we really didn't have any control over that. So he was like, turn up the mic. And it's hard to tell K Reno, you know, I can't do that, player, you know, but I was just, you know, it was just crazy, man. But it was just crazy watching the Eshawn show standing next to K Reno, man. It completely blew my mind.
I'll tell you what, man, that's monumental to see something like that happen. I was just gonna say real quick. We're gonna take a break real quick, and then we're gonna come back. I want to talk a little bit more about your history, but before we do, what were you gonna say, Brandon? I didn't mean to cut you off, man.
Oh no, I was just adding in about what he said about standing next to K Reno. I said, man, that's a Hall of Fame moment, man. Like, you know, that's a once in a lifetime thing. He'll never forget that. Like, that's something like you can't even.
No, I'll never forget that night. Is that? Yeah. That's that boy Brandon?
Yeah, it's me, man. What's up?
Oh, what's up, Brandon? Man, you doing good?
Hell yeah, man. It's
Hell
great
yeah,
being on the show, man. It's great. I'm honored to be on the show with you.
Man, I appreciate that, man. Much love, man. I told Reno a couple of years ago, man. Go ahead.
Like yourselves. No, it's just good to connect with people like yourselves because, you know, we can literally, with all of our connections, we can help connect this shit together and really make it happen.
Man, I'm with it.
You know, and yeah, definitely. But we got this track. You sent me one of the tracks. It's Throwback. I believe it's by Iconic, man. Tell me about this one.
Throwback, man. By a homie. I've been managing him for maybe 2 years now. I met him here in Houston, and he's like 20 years old. He's from Houston. He just moved back to Indiana, and the dude is majorly talented and iconic. That's my boy right there.
Hell yeah. This is Throwback by Iconic. We'll be right back with DJ Skywalker. And then stay tuned. We got Detroit Unplugged Radio in the building. Also Chris Bondi with the Underground Takeover Cypher. Don't go nowhere. Murder Master Music Show, UGSforlife.com. Yeah,
dude is major, man. Homie's like 20 years old, man. That's young talent right there. And you know what? It's crazy because he's like asking me like, oh man, Snoop Dogg and Twista and, you know, Do or Die. He's done all of his research. Dude's like 20 years old, and he done all of his research, man. He's a major.
I'm about to say that's
head.
almost uncommon for a lot of these young cats. They don't know their history.
Yeah,
man. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, what? It's amazing what he knows, because I'm like, man, hold up. You're jamming stuff you ain't even supposed to be jamming. You weren't even born back in those days. But he knows all about it. Ice Cube, Easy, Ice-T, Snoop, you know, all those major guys, man. He knows all about that stuff, man. But I heard that kid spit, and I had to work with him, man. That's my homie Iconic.
Shout out to him for sure. What about yourself? as far as your music? Do you do any music yourself? Or?
Oh man, I was probably back in 2001. I was in a horrorcore group called Ghost Town, right out of Houston, Texas, and we recorded an album called Home of the Sick, and we were doing shows, Twisted, ICP. You know, we were promoting Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, Houston. We had a good buzz, man. We had a good buzz going, but it only lasted for maybe about 4 or 5 years, and I kind of ventured off and did my own thing. I recorded an album and released an album, and then I just kind of started seeing, you know, we were doing shows after shows after shows here in Houston. I'm saying 100 shows or something like that. You know, really promoting, getting down here in Houston, and everything was cool. You know, we got a good response and everything, but I kind of started seeing some other people come up in the game, and I just kind of took a step back and wanted some other people to shine. And I said, you know what? I kind of want to start I got into like the producing side and booking the shows and DJing and photography and directing, and you know, I kind of went back and did the because I was also running a small label at that time called Dark Side Records. It doesn't exist no more, but that was before Another Level Music. So this is 01. This is 01, 02.
And this shows you how
know,
I am. I'm thinking of 01 like it was yesterday. You know, I'm thinking like, oh
so
yeah,
I've seen
Cross Addicted, and I'm thinking of all these dope albums from 01. You know what I'm saying? And here we are. It's 2016, about to be 2017. Crazy.
Yeah. I just kind of progressed. You know, I kind of progressed from being the rapper, you know, the guy that had the right rhymes in the rap. I just kind of progressed into being the booking and the promoting and the networking and the marketing and the, you know, the guy ordering T-shirts and flyers.
Right? A lot of shows with SPC I would have had being in Houston.
Yeah, I booked a few shows for SPC. I got real good with my homie Justice Ali over there at SPC. He was in a group with Dopey of the Terrorists called 144 Elite, and me and him were hanging out all the time, man. I was hanging out at his house.
Yeah, the 144 Elite was that shit, though.
Yeah.
Them boys man.
Yeah, Dopey. You know, we were doing shows, and I helped book a few K Reno shows, and man, hanging out with those guys, and I learned a lot. You know, I learned a lot. I was around, and you just learn a lot from those guys. You know, so I've kind of just soaked it all in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. I tell you what, man.
You know,
it's good to know the history that you have in the game, because I mean you're connected to a lot of folks. You know what I'm saying? Not just, you know what I'm saying, from Houston, but you know, iconic and cats in different areas. I mean, Esham. Didn't you help make the Esham show? I mean, didn't you make the Esham show possible, or weren't you one of the guys involved in that?
Yeah. One of them. I've got a couple other guys that I know that helped make that thing pop. One of my friends and knew Esham, and then another one of my friends knew Nip because he had done that song with Nip, and so that kind of, and that actual show was like 6 months in advance planned, you know. So that show took a lot of moving parts, I should say, and but once it went down, man, it was something I'll never forget.
Oh yeah, quite an accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? Quite just to even be there. You know, I imagine.
And my boy called me. Oh, sorry about that. But my boy called me. He's like, because I was actually DJing at this bar, and my boy called me. He's like, hey man, you want to DJ for Esham? And I'm like, hold up, man. Let me call you right back because my head just spin. So he's like, yeah, you know, we're gonna try to get this show together. And he started laying all the details down. I said, man, I didn't know if it was gonna happen. come on, man. I'm picking a DJ for Esham and Mastermind and Gangsta Nip. Come on, man. You know, it's one of those moments like you don't believe it's too good to be true. You know.
Right.
So you know, so we made all the contacts and you know, it was so funny because I got out of the car and it's crazy. I don't know if y'all ever heard that, but Paul Wall was there.
Oh wow!
I don't know if y'all heard that.
Know that.
Mm-hmm.
But Paul Wall, remember all the voting and all that, you know, voting president stuff that was going on during that time. Well, Paul Wall had threw like, you know, he wanted everybody to come up to the Warehouse Live and vote and all that stuff. So I heard Zero was there and Slim Thug. I'm not sure. I didn't see Zero or Slim Thug, but I heard they were there. And a couple of friends of mine were like, man, you parked right, because Paul Wall's Cadillac was like 2 cars away from mine. And so I love Paul Wall. He's one of my favorites, you know. So I was like, man, I wish I would have seen him, you know. But anyway, so I get out of my car, and I'm walking to the backstage area, and Esham's like, what's up, Skywalker? And I didn't have none of my equipment on me. It was all in my car, you know. So he's like, man, where's your equipment? And I'm like, oh, man, it's in the ride. He's like, oh, man, you better go get it. You know what I'm saying? It was just, I kind of came unprepared, but then I didn't want to walk up, you know, and just be like, yo, dog, I'm supposed to be DJing for you. You know what I'm saying, homeboy? Man, I ain't like that.
Right, you want to make sure shit was right before you just start unloading and shit, right?
Yeah, for real, because you know how people be acting. You know, man, you know how people be acting. I'm a DJ for you, Sean. Man, so, but it was just so funny, man, seeing the look on his face like, man, where's your equipment? You know, so I'll always remember that.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man.
He's standing at the back door. You know. And all of a sudden, Mastermind walks out, and he's like, "Yo, what's up, Keith?" And I'm just like, he's like, "Yo, what's up, Keith?" Mastermind.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, man, what's up, man? You know, gave him a hug and everything. And, man, hanging out with those guys all day and all night, man, was something I'll never forget.
Man, yeah, that's amazing. I mean, all those different legends in the same place at the same time. And you helped make that happen, man. Shout out to you for doing that. You know what I'm saying? That's what, you know, being supportive of the underground is all about. We got other guests that are going to be on here shortly, Detroit Unplugged Radio. But before you go, give everybody your social media links and, you know what I'm saying, let them know if they want to get in touch with you or get some music or whatever, or shows. What's the best way they can get at you?
Most definitely. You can always hit me up on Facebook. You know, I'm always on Facebook. I keep it just one. I don't have Reverb Nation, Audio Mac, and all that stuff. I just keep it one outlet is SoundCloud. You can find Another Level Music on SoundCloud. You can reach me up on Facebook. But, yeah, man, much shout out to my homie A-Rock over at Detroit Unplugged, my boy Chris Bondi, and Super Smash Bros. Definitely in the building. So we taking over.
Shout out to the Super Smash Bros, man. And you too, man. I want you to come out again in the future, man. It was good talking to you. I'd love to have you on anytime. Real talk.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. I got nothing but love for Prez and Mac J and the Murder Master Music Show, man. Nothing but love and respect for you boys. I appreciate everything y'all do, man.
We appreciate you as well, Skywalker, man. Thank you very much for coming on the show. And like I said, man, you're welcome back anytime, brother.
Man, that sounds good, man. Y'all be easy out there. Take care.
Most definitely. Man, I tell you what, man, shout out to DJ Skywalker. Hell of a guy, man. Hell of a guest to come on the show.
Oh, yeah.
And represent, you know what I'm saying, share some of his experiences in the game and, you know, tell some great stories about, you know what I'm saying, just watching, like, Esham perform standing next to K. Reno. And K. Reno's like, turn up the mic. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's crazy shit right there. That's crazy shit. I'm going to bring back on the homie Brandon, you know what I'm saying, because he's the one that hooked me up with, you know, Detroit Unplugged Radio. What's up, Brandon? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Man, Detroit Unplugged Radio, these guys, you know what I'm saying, they're doing good things for the underground. They're bringing, you know what I'm saying, artists on, and they're showcasing guys that normally wouldn't have a chance to be showcased. You know what I'm saying? As well as legends and pioneers. Before I bring them on, tell me a little bit about them. Like, how did you find out about these guys?
Well, I originally just heard of them through I love Michigan music, so they had a lot of people we listened to on their show, and then when they had Monte Cristo on, a horse trainer, that's me and Monty we're pretty tight, so I was gonna call in, but I called just a little too late. But I ended up chopping it up with A-Rock, and it just kind of, he showed us love, and I was like, man, we really like what you do too. So whenever I found out they had Exit Only and Caliber on, I'm like, man, those are our people. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're our family and shit. So the idea, the idea just came. It's like, man, we're all supporting the same people. Let's send a message. You know what I mean? Like this is how it's supposed to be done. We're supposed to show each other love, and you know what I mean. I'm glad you got it exactly, man. It's real important. You got to stay connected, because like me and Mac, every once in a while we'll sneak into the mainstream with some news. You know what I'm saying? Like today we had DJ Paul in there, but we also featured our homies, BKB and Relic Killer of Deified Records. You know what I'm saying? Who've been hella supportive of our show. They were able to get in there too. You know what I'm saying? So you've got to be able to build these connections with the underground. Without further ado, I'm going to bring on Detroit Unplugged Radio, man. Say Rock and Ism. How you guys doing, man?
Hey, what up, Doe? How you fellas this evening, man?
What's going on with it, fellas?
Yeah, man, listen, we are blessed this evening, my brothers, and certainly it's an honor for myself and Ism to join forces, so to speak, on this evening. It's a beautiful night to celebrate hip-hop, gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm glad that you were excited to come on here, and I'm glad that you agreed to have Scott or President Mac J on your show as well.
Oh man, we're looking forward to that. Real talk.
Yeah, I just appreciate what you guys do, man. You guys are supporting a lot of the same artists we support. You guys have the same mentality as what we do. You know what I mean? And so me and you had a private conversation, and we talked for almost a whole hour, man, because we had so much in common with what you're doing, what we're doing. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that you were down to be on here. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's an honor to have you.
Well, listen, first and foremost, thank you guys, man. It means a lot to us to know that we're making a difference. To myself and Ism, we've been involved in hip-hop for so many years that it's our honor to give our forum to the listeners 3 times a week. So, and just to kind of roll off what you guys were talking about, it's very important that we move forward as a global family in the name of this real hip-hop stuff, because for some time that kind of got away, but there's always been a great backbone and a great foundation in which our culture has grown over the years, and it's important, especially moving forward in 2017, that we move forward as a global brotherhood.
You're right. You're 100% right, man. I've said this for years. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way we're going to send a message to these major labels and these big payola DJs that are playing nothing but garbage. We got to stand together and support good music from the underground, you know what I'm saying, as well as the legends and pioneers that have been forgotten about. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys, you know what I'm saying, did great things in the 90s, were platinum, did all kinds of things, and no one even talks about them no more. Like the K-Reno 7 album thing. That's a phenomenal feat in hip-hop history. You know what I'm saying? No one's ever done it before, yet no one's talking about it in hip-hop media. I had one outlet, I believe it was Ambrosia. They told me, I'm sorry, we won't be interested in this. Like, then you're not hip-hop. You're not representing the fucking art. It's crazy, man.
Back when I was a young man, and God bless those days, You had to have a certain degree of, we were raised in some great days. I mean, that's when, you had to really have a lot of skill to be noticed. There was, we made fun of times that may suggest we may have cats like we see nowadays being recognized for hip-hop. It's not hip-hop, man. Hip-hop is the elements, recognizing the DJ. And, for instance, we had DJ Too Tough from Tough Crew on our show. What a historic night of hip-hop that was for us. Yeah. It was so special, man, because, people like that really represent hip-hop and our culture to the fullest, man.
Man, you had, didn't you have Curtis Blow?
We did. We recently had Curtis Blow, and God bless him, not too long after we almost lost him.
Before that.
Yeah, we booked it, but then we booked it, and he had, he had some situations happen, and we had, God bless him, he wasn't even back to 100% yet, and he came on our show, and he was celebrating with us. And we got to celebrate his career, man. It was a special night.
Yeah, man.
That's what shouts out to Curtis Blow,
it's all about, man.
Listen, bro, he told us of exact situations that he could remember when hip-hop was actually created. Like certain nights where, and back in those days, man, there was a lot of slumlords that burnt these apartments down in New York, in the different boroughs, you know what I mean? And he talked about nights where, they would have to wire up their electricity, man. They would have to really rig that shit up to where they could survive because no one had money to get out of the area. You know what I mean? These are hard workers that were getting by with this minimal cash. So he told us about nights that were, kind of just portrayed how hip-hop really was brought to us, man. And it was great to hear about that conception, man. What a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and he's doing great things with the Universal Hip Hop Museum. We did a roundtable with him. Man, who else was on that, Mac? There was a lot of people.
Shit, it was him.
The inventor of the scratch.
Before we found out about Bambaataa and shit too. It was before Bambaataa.
Yeah, it was before the news broke of Bambaataa. Otherwise, believe me, we would not have had his ass on the show. But it was a dope roundtable speaking about the roots of hip hop, like you're talking about. And Curtis Blow was just reflecting, you know what I'm saying, on the early days. And the Universal Hip Hop Museum, they're actually going to have exhibits and virtual exhibits they got online right now. And, we need to support shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Certainly.
Otherwise, the preservation of this shit is going to go out the window. And that's why it's important, that there's people like you guys, because you guys, by having these shows and having these guests on there and shedding light on these different artists in the underground, you're able to help preserve this shit. And that's, what I'm saying, at the end of the day,
that's the thing. That's the thing, bro, and I don't mean to cut you off. We have to preserve it, and we have to teach these kids because, bro, we have a lot of young kids that also listen to Detroit Unplugged Radio. We got to teach them the catalyst in which we were raised. See, that's the important thing.
Right.
We set the bar at a certain level and teach the kids what hip-hop really is and recognize all the pieces and all the greatness to our culture. If we don't celebrate those times, if we don't celebrate the Dana Danes and Cosmo D's and Reddy Reds and Raheems and Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five and Awesome Dre, Rockbox, et cetera, we don't celebrate those artists, then we kind of gets lost in time, man. It's really important that we move forward remembering our catalyst, man.
We need to know who invented the scratch, who was the first to make Tony Montana sing on a record. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Those are important key factors in hip-hop. And a lot of people get credit for shit they never did, like Chance the Rapper with Acid Rap. You know what I mean? It's like a dude created that 20-plus years prior to you coming out with that mixtape. There's
shout out to Isham. I gotta say, man, our homeboy, he's the creator. Real acid rap will never ever die. The wicked shit will never die, man. Isham and Mastermind. I want to give shout out to those. Those are our homeboys.
They're friends of the show.
I always wanted to hear that TNT solo. First one was Tony Montana, Mob Music, I believe, and then I think the Suicide Bomber. I was always hyped for those. Oh man, I hope that shit drops. And sadly, he was taken too soon. Rest in peace to TNT.
Rest in peace.
He actually died about a year after, almost to the day, Lord Infamous passed away. Which was another huge loss. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to Lord Infamous. What do you think of like groups like C to 6 that are carrying on the tradition of like 3-6 Mafia and stuff like that? And when usually a lot of the young guys are going in that swag direction, I think it's important.
I think it's important because to me that's a raw form of hip hop. So, it's important to me as an MC. I mean, I really respect hip hop in its truest form, to put that true hip hop armor on, and to teach these kids to listen to crews like that and to real hip hop in its rawest form. I think is very important.
Yeah, hell yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
I don't like this watered-down shit, man. I'm not a fan of this radio shit. I'm not a fan of anything that puts people outside the box as far as proclaiming what hip-hop is. Because, dog, this shit is retarded. I remember we were talking about the story from back, when I watched In Living Color back in the day. And they would actually make fun of what they thought rappers were as a comedy, man. We never thought in a million years that we would see clowns in the industry like we see nowadays. And really what the industry is promoting, the evil that exists in the industry and the serpents that slither around in the industry. For the love of baby Jesus, fellas, moving forward in this new year, we are going to celebrate real hip-hop. And we're not going to be quiet about it. Listen to me now. We're not going to be quiet about it. There's times to be abrasive. And for the love of hip-hop brotherism, we're going to do it this year. We met family in this shit, brothers moving forward, and you guys are our new families. Hopefully we can all move forward in that cause.
Yeah, definitely. I've been doing it half my life, man. I'm 38. I've been doing it shit since I was like 15. And I've watched the different stages of the game just like you have. I've seen it slip to where it is now, and it's like, but hold up, we're still hearing dope music where we're at. We're still hearing lyrics and substance and fucking talent, which I'm going to go to a break right now. We're going to get a little glimpse of that. This is K. Reno's Flash Backwards. I forget which one, but it's off of one of his new 7 albums, which y'all motherfuckers need to go get. And then we're going to be right back with A-Rock and Ism of Detroit Unplugged Radio, followed by the homie Chris Bondi with the Underground Takeover Cypher. Don't go nowhere. It's the Murder Master Music Show. You only at UGSforlife.com. We'll be right back. And that's one of my favorite tracks right there because you hear how he made his life go in reverse. You know what I'm saying? In that last verse, that was crazy. Let me bring back on Detroit Unplugged Radio.
We always flipping shit, man.
A-Rock and Ism. Now that's the kind of music I like to hear, fellas, because it's got concept to it. It's got lyricism, talent. What are your thoughts on an artist like K. Reno?
Just a really good example of what the kind of hip hop I love. And it's cool because hip hop offers you so many different subgenres. You know what I'm saying? So with Reno, I think he's got just a really great MC. I was telling Ism, what a nice smooth flow. What an enjoyable song to listen to. It's just the type of song where I could kick back and enjoy the content because it's just as great as the application.
Oh yeah.
I told you, man, this dude is hell of appreciative of real hip hop, man. This dude's passionate about it, man. Like me and him had a great conversation about a couple weeks ago, man. That's why I'm glad we got to make this show happen, man. I really wanted these guys on.
Yeah, hey, we're glad to be here, man.
Yeah, we're glad to have you here, man, because it's good to bridge the underground because, you know what I'm saying, if we don't come together as a whole, you know what I'm saying, then it's pointless. I also want to shout out First Fam Radio out of Trenton, New Jersey. Those are our people, too. We've had them on the show, and we've been on their show as well. They're doing the same thing.
Nice.
You know, saying they're shedding light on the music that needs to have light shed upon it. So, again, I salute you guys, man. Out of all the shows you've done so far, what has been your most memorable?
Oh, man, dude. We got a few, though, bro. There's a few. I would certainly put Curtis Blow in like the top 3, but I would also put Esham in the top 3.
Yeah, Esham's in there too, man.
I'd put Spice One up and maybe in the top 5. I don't know. We've had so many great shows. If I had to say one, personally, being that I learned from the man, and I'm honored to say that I knew him when I was a young man, and I learned from him. Esham is probably was my most thrilling episode of Detroit Unplugged Radio.
Yeah, because you used to do music, right, A-Rock?
Yeah, you know, I was an MC for years and years, bro. I did a lot of battle rapping. I never really launched my career the way it should have. I made a lot of mistakes. I was a knucklehead. I was out making babies and running amok. And God bless that because I have great kids and I'm a father before I'm anything. But as an MC, I kind of learned over the years when I hung the mic up, we found radio, and we really learned that. I think that was the plan the whole time. I didn't need Specs Howard for this. We gather as one weekly to celebrate our culture, and I think we do it, and we have some kind of entertainment value, thank God. But man, God bless it, man. I think that we really found our niche in radio, and it's helping do just that. You said bridging that gap. Listen, man, we need to make sure these kids come up the right way. And we need to make sure, dude, it's not going to be easy, but we can't be quiet with it. We got to make a lot of noise. We got to move into 2017. You said, we got a lot of radio shows moving forward together doing the same damn thing. We got to be noisy about it. We got to flood the market with our promos. We got to make sure everyone knows that we're there, because once they tune in, they're going to fall in love with it just like we did. And that's the thing. That's where we got to get to.
Yeah, I mean that's why I reached
out. Hell yeah, I agree.
I'm a fan of your show. Like I didn't hit anybody else up. You know what I mean? Like I didn't hit any other radio people up. Like I'm a fan of what you guys do. I really enjoy your show. So that's originally why I got in touch with you, just because I like what you're doing, man.
Salute. Hey, we all got to do it. I think if we all do it, we stick together, man. We keep our vision clear and we stay unified. That's the key. Unification. Moving forward into 2017, me and Ism are thrilled because we know what's to come, man. We know what kind of noise we're going to make along with our brothers.
How did you meet? What's his relationship with you? Like, how do you know Ism?
Me and Ism, man, we started out rapping together back in 1994. I actually started a lot. Yeah, 93, my apologies, in a group called Lunacy. We were part of the Blood Circle with, back then was House of Crazies and Crazy Clan, which was Anybody Killer, and Lavelle from Psychopathic. I don't know where Lavelle's at now, but certainly with a lot of the legends in the horrorcore and acid rap genre. So that's where we met. We became friends, man. We started MCing together. And the rest is history, man. We just became really good friends and brothers over the years. We eventually graduated into working with DJ Butterfingers from Basement Productions, infamously known for his work with Eminem. And I'm proud to have absorbed a lot from M as well as a young man being in Basement myself with Flim Flam. So I got a chance to learn a lot. When I met Ism, man, he brought a lot to the table with his knowledge, and it certainly meshed well. It was a great marriage of ideas along with all the other greatness that I've absorbed over my career. Meeting Ism and Lunacy was probably the highlight of my career, outside of Eminem and Esham and all the other greatness, of course.
Yeah.
Ism's with you right now, right?
Yeah, he is. I'm a loudmouth, bro, so sometimes I overshadow Ism.
That's why we work. I don't talk and he does.
Okay, well let me get Ism. Let me get your top 3 shows that you had. Who's your top 3 favorite guests you've had?
Curtis Blow is definitely my number one. Man, we've had so many. Seven the General was one of my favorites, and Trick was a good show too.
It was a good show.
So I'll go with those 3.
Trick was a damn good show.
Yeah.
I bet, man. Trick and Seven the General both, man. They're both good dudes, man. I just got in touch with Seven the General. I hit him up on social media. I talked to him the other day. He's good people.
Real good guy.
Yeah,
he's one of the guys.
And that's cool because, what's cool about that, and we talk about it often, is we meet a lot of great MCs. Nolan the Ninja, Aztec the Barfly, Mo Dirty, Super MC, Guilty Simpson, Fat Father Ford, fucking King Gordy, all great guys. All similar vision. A lot of them had the same, upbringing in the hip hop as we did. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What's cool is to see that. When you start interviewing a lot of these great MCs and great DJs, you start to see like a pattern. Like, yo, you were made to do this. Because we've talked to 100 other MCs that were made to do this thing. And that's why we're here, gentlemen. That's why we do this thing.
Hats off to you guys, man. Hats off. That's exactly why we're here, too. And Trick, man. Shout out to Trick. I interviewed him many years ago for a magazine called Street Masters. And he was a real humble dude, real humble individual. He wasn't too humble to Trick Daddy, but that's a whole different story.
That's for another day. That's for another day,
that's
bro.
For another day. But
listen, bro, I gotta say, and I don't mean to talk over you, bro. I know we don't have a lot of time because you got a lot more show, but I do gotta say, man, hats off to you guys as well, because me and Ism for a long time we didn't know if there was other radio shows that really did it like we did it, you know. And I know you've been doing it for fucking years, and bro, we really appreciate what you're doing. You know, we feel the shockwaves of you cats as well. So I just wanted to say that before we parted ways for the evening, that we really we want to tip our hats to you guys as well, man.
Right on, man. We really appreciate it.
That means a lot, man, and most definitely, likewise, man. We definitely we appreciate what you guys are doing for the game. And if people listening, if they want to tune into your show, what's the best way they can do it?
There's a few different ways, man. We got different options. You know, obviously, we're part of the Blog Talk family, so we always have links that we put up on our Detroit Unplugged Radio Facebook page. But, if you got your pen, jot it down. It's blogtalkradio.com/Michigan United Broadcast. You can also go to DetroitUnplugged.com. That's the one-stop shop for all of, the Blog Talk info and all the other news and updates. That's under construction right now, so what you see, if you go to DetroitUnplugged.com right now, certainly it's not the what you're going to get here in the next couple months. But also, I want to say, man, we got a couple shows hitting you moving into 2017 with Big D's Music Toss-Up each and every Saturday night from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard. And, of course, Detroit Unplugged, man. We got a lot of great things. Check us out, man. All the social media is Detroit Unplugged Radio. Certainly, you can tune into our live feed on Facebook each and every night. That's both shows. And, man, we're just bringing a lot of greatness, man. Our objective moving forward, man, is just to pedestalize real hip-hop and make sure people smell that shit again. Gang, this stuff's going to be nostalgic, and I'm glad we're brothers with you guys now. That way we can all experience this thing when it gets to where we want it to be.
Oh, yeah.
Most definitely, man. Thank you so much, A-Rock and Ism. Detroit Unplugged Radio is the show. Make sure you check these guys out. They're doing the real deal for hip-hop, and we appreciate you guys, man. Thank you so much. And we look forward to having you guys on again in the future.
Hey, thank you guys, man. Be blessed. One love. And, man, have a great New Year, man.
Yeah, we look forward to having you guys on.
Yeah, we're going to have a fun show when you guys take over Detroit Unplugged Radio, by the way. Those promos will be up soon.
Oh, man,
yeah.
Thank you. You have a wonderful New Year, too. And, we look forward, everybody, January 4th. You know what I'm saying? Murder Master Music Show is going to be on Detroit Unplugged. Thank you for the opportunity. We appreciate that, man.
Be blessed. One love.
And that was, I'll tell you, a hell of a show, Mac. First, the homie DJ Skywalker come through. Then Detroit Unplugged.
Oh, yeah.
We'll bring back on the homie Brandon. Now we got, you know what I'm saying, Chris Bondi. This is the homie all the way up in Canada. You know what I'm saying? This guy, he loves the underground. He actually put together a cipher full of MCs from all over the place. You know what I'm saying? And just out of his love for the music, out of his love for the underground. Let me bring him on. What's up, Chris?
What up, man?
Welcome to the Murder Master Music Show, episode 325. How you doing, brother?
Chris?
It's going good, man. What's going on, guys? Scott, Brandon, Jay? Thank you for having me. And
it's good to finally talk to you. I mean, we've been knowing each other on Facebook for a little while. Some years probably, I would imagine. But your love for music, it runs deep. I mean, it goes back, you know what I'm saying, a long ways, man. When did you get involved with music, Chris?
I was about 11 years old when I picked up my first rap album, and it was the cat from Toronto, Maestro Fresh West. Have you heard of him?
No. Enlighten me.
It's old, man. It's like Let Your Backbone Slide. I don't know. It's just some Toronto cat. And then I got onto Eazy-E, NWA. It's kind of the same story as Keith, man. But I got on, and then I discovered Esham around 91, 92 with Judgment Day. And it was over.
That was a good album to come up on for your first Esham introduction. Yeah,
I was definitely blown away. At my young age, I never heard nothing like that before. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, there was nothing out there like that at all. It was
nothing.
Way different. The samples he was using was crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Beatles. He was using the Beatles and like,
you know. Hell.
Ever since I've been down with Esham since, man. 26 years or so.
That's why I wanted to show you some love, Chris, because I mean, there's a bunch of people on social media that are just fans of the music, but like you actually do a lot, and like it goes beyond just Facebook. Like, you know, the shit you do actually makes, you know, a little bit of a difference. Like, you know, you got a good relationship with Dice, you know, and
shout out to Dice.
Well, Dice is my homie, man. Shout out to Dice.
Rappers.
Yeah, that
one of the hardest rappers to ever spit on the microphone, Dice, man.
I tell everybody, man, I know hip-hop from all over. I would put Dice up against anybody. Like, Dice is the rawest dude. Like, you know what you're getting every time, and he just brings it. He brings his A game on every song he does, man. I fucking
everyone.
Yeah, I mean, highly
lyrical. And I ain't gonna lie, back when he dropped Black Monday, I ain't gonna lie, dude, I hated him, man. I was like, what the fuck? But then, you know, I didn't like that song.
I reviewed that album, and I was cool with Esham. I mean, like, the same year I reviewed, like, fucking Wicked Worldwide, or, you know what I'm saying, From the Vault and shit, bootleg. So I reviewed the Dice album, too, and I was like, because I liked it, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, wow, he went in. Man. He went in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's cool.
It hurt my feelings, though, at that time. Like, it was like he was dissing my favorite rapper, man. And I was like, fuck him. But then, you know, I just grow up, right? And right now, today, that's probably my favorite diss track ever, is Kill Fever.
Yeah, every time we talk about diss records, you always bring that one up. You know what I mean?
Man, that's hard.
With that because
dude, he used so many references in one song. Like, so many references. It was just crazy.
He took his songs and albums and flipped it around. It was clever. It's a lyricist right there.
Very clever.
Fucking lyricist.
Yeah, and I'm sure they both, like, just, you know, it's in the past. Like, I'm sure, we know Esham and Dice are cool, and I hope they make more music together very, very soon. I think they will. So,
I hope they do.
I'm sure Esham appreciates the fact that Dice was at least creative when he made that song.
Oh, yeah, he has to, man. If he does, of course he does.
Just for the sake of hip-hop. Like, I'm sure that Esham's like, all right, well, at least you put the effort in. You didn't just say, fuck you, Esham. You know what I mean? Like, Dice is very creative. But, the Suicide Pact, Chris, how did you link up? I already know them. I already know this whole story, but just tell everybody how you linked up with them and what relationship you got with them.
Well, the relationship with Suicide Pact started with Don, actually. I met him through Facebook about, I'd say, 7 years ago. I was just in some Juggalo group, and I was doing my art shit that I do. You've seen it on Facebook. And fucking, he asked me to do him a piece for a flyer of his for one of his shows, Hollow's Gloom. And we just hit it off from then, man. And, you know, and then I got to know Mr. Skull, August, and Wrecked Hearse. And it's pretty tight group, man. We're like a family.
Yeah, man. I talk to all you guys all the time, man. I think you're all good dudes, man. You guys got a lot of good music out there, and you're good at doing the graphics too, man. Because you make graphics for Dice too, don't you?
I do for, like, I kind of try to do it for anybody that I love, dude. Like, just to help put them out there. Like, I feel like I don't do enough. I wish I could do more, but, you know, it's hard, man. Being out in Canada and so far away from the D.
You support these guys, you know what I'm saying, and they definitely appreciate it because so many of them are slept on, man. So it takes guys like yourself to shed light on these guys. You know what I'm saying?
It's what it needs. We need more guys like me.
Yeah.
Like just the takeover Cypher thing. The whole reason I wanted to do this is because I got all these local groups that never really heard each other, right? Like CVS and the Suicide Pact was like, I want to get them to collab. And Smash Bros. And Suicide Pact just did a collab before that, so I thought that would be good. Man, I got J.R. Kane on there, the Sleepwalkers, and they all just did a track, and just, in my opinion, it came out fire. No.
Yeah, it's definitely a good track. Like, me and you were first, the idea first came up, like me and you both were going to try to put together things that I thought what you were trying to do was dope. It was just the people that I could get. It probably wouldn't have sounded right. You know what I mean? Just because it's two different things. But I think for what you were trying to do, I think you accomplished it. I think it came out pretty dope. And man, I've listened to it a lot, man. I think there's a lot of good verses in there, and I'm glad you did it because it came out pretty good, man. You know what I mean? And
it just feels good to bring these underground artists together, man. And like, you know, now I am hearing that J.R. Kane's going to be on Suicide Pact's next album, and it's like I feel like, you know, I helped make that happen. And it's like that's what you guys were talking about earlier about like all of us just like uniting, keep the fucking underground alive.
Yeah,
you know?
That's why.
So be on the lookout for part 2 of the takeover soon, man.
Cool.
Because I ain't done yet.
You might as well. I mean, now that I was just going to ask you that. Now that you put out one, is this going to be something that you're going to do more often in the future?
I'm going to try, yeah, because it's fun for one, and it's just so nice to get these artists together, and I want to try to get bigger names maybe on the next one. But even if I can't, it's just there's so much good talent and just like that, you know what I mean? It's so like not even heard, and it's unfortunate. There's so much talent out there.
These guys are getting slept on. You know, like we were talking about the K-Reno 7-album thing. It's like, it's fucking amazing. You know, like I remember when Esham, you know, dropped 2 albums on one day. I was like, wow, man, this is huge. Why ain't anybody talking about this? And now in 2016, I'm saying the same thing about K-Reno with 7 albums. I mean, it's like that's a world record for any genre of any music. They need to recognize.
And it doesn't even get noticed.
They're not doing their job, you know, plain and simple. But if anybody wants to download this track, we're going to play it here in a second. Where can they download it at, Chris?
On Hightail. I don't have the link on me.
It's on YouTube.
I'll post it on your Facebook page, on the Murder Master Music Show page. It'll be on there.
Okay, yeah. We'll put it up on this show on UGSforlife.com. We'll make sure that the link is in the show.
So
when you download the episode, you can download the cipher as well.
Awesome.
Chris, isn't it on YouTube too?
It is on YouTube, yeah. Just type in the takeover or Suicide Pact the takeover. It's on, yeah. It's on SoundCloud too.
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, it's definitely the takeover. You know what I'm saying? Cypher. You know what I'm saying? CB
Follow me
presents.
on SoundCloud, CB of the Pact.
Yeah, give them all your social media and, you know what I'm saying, any shout-outs or anything. And, man, we really appreciate you coming on the show.
I want to shout out to the listeners because without them, this shit wouldn't even be possible. Anything that we're listening to, because without these listeners, these people that only were buying their records because the shit ain't sold in stores, they wouldn't be making money, and then they wouldn't be making music. So shout out to number 1 to the people that are buying the shit.
Definitely.
And then
most definitely. You know what I'm saying? Because without them, you know, there's nothing.
Yeah, they need to sell records, man. Buy their shit. Look out for Dice Sick and fucking Lonely Ruthless Nigger coming out 2017. Look out for that shit and buy that shit. Dice needs your support. Fucking.
He'll be on. He'll be on. I just talked to Dice the other day. He knows he'll be on to promote that, whatever the hell else he has going on. You know, Dice, man, he's always happy to stop by on here, man. So, you know, feel free to join us when Dice is on, man.
Yeah, most definitely. The first time I think we had him on was about 3 or 4 years ago, and I thought to myself, that was the first time I ever interviewed Dice, because I reviewed his music, but I never interviewed him before. I was just like, wow. I was like, this dude's really on the fucking show. I'm talking to this guy. Same thing with DMC and Chuck E, though, too, you know. I mean, our love is for the music. It don't matter if they're multi-platinum rock and roll Hall of Famers or if they're straight from the underground, you know what I'm saying, of Houston or Detroit or Chicago, whatever. If they're dope, we got to showcase them. We got to highlight them, and that's what we're going to keep doing. I salute you, Chris, for doing what you do. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing what you're doing.
Hey, you too, man. You guys are awesome. Thank you for doing what you do.
Yeah, we appreciate it, and we hope to have you back on the show again in the future for sure.
Yeah, man. Chris, I always tell you, Chris, you need to start joining us, man. Call in, whatever, man. Like anytime, man. You know, you're a good friend of mine, man. So anytime you got a question for somebody or something, just hit me or Scott up or Matt J. We'll let you on, man. Anytime you want to.
Yeah, we got people that call in from all over, from time to time. So, more than welcome. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome. Thank you, Brandon, and I appreciate that, Scott and Mac J. You guys are awesome. I just wanted to take this moment to thank everybody that did throw down on that cipher. CVS, Suicide Pact, Super Smash Bros, Sleepwalkers. Yeah, J. Arcane. Thank you, guys, and it turned out really good, and check it out. Thanks.
Definitely. Here it is, man. Here, without further ado, this is the Takeover Cipher. My homie, all those, I can't remember him, but all those people that Chris just mentioned, he's the one that put together, and shout out to you. Shout out to all our guests tonight, DJ Skywalker, you know what I'm saying, A-Rockinism, Detroit Unplugged Radio. We appreciate all you guys. Tune in tomorrow night. We got the original Ghetto Boy, Sir Jukebox. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be on. And then tune in Christmas Day for the Gangster Nips Horrorcore Holiday Special. He's going to be on. He's got he's got the Landlord Trilogy that he's going to play.
Yeah.
So tune in for that Christmas Day. You know what I'm saying? And then the 28th, we some more of our affiliates, Super Smash Bros, are going to be on along with Deadwalkers. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have a dope show on the 28th there too. So man, we're gonna keep it moving. 2017. We'll see you guys. This is the Takeover Cipher, Murder Master Music Show.